give more returns. Get more security and more interest on your fixed deposits from Sri Lanka's largest finance company, LMDtv Finance.
The key to quality and efficiency. Be a jewel. Professionalism is the jewel in the corporate crown.
Refresh Sri Lanka for a civic-minded society in association with 99X. LMD, the voice of business.
Hello and welcome to LMDtv. Tonight on the forum, we're zooming in on trends in insurance. And with us, we have the CEO and country manager of Allianz Insurance Lanka, Smee. It's very nice to have you on the show, Alan.
Thank you. It's great to be here. So great to be in Sri Lanka. I think it's a top place. So cheers.
Let's start off our discussion with how the sector has been performing, especially against all the macroeconomic challenges that we've been seeing.
That's a great question. I think the insurance sector is performing well. I mean, despite the storms and the other things happening, the insurance sector has weathered them well. We're paying claims. We say in Allianz, we secure your future. And that's what we continue to do. I think we're still working hard to do that. For us, our customer needs are very important. And so we continue to provide that stability. But that's also true of the industry as well. And insurance is like a fundamental part of the financial system. Insurance is the grease, if you like, that enables banking to work, for example. And so the continuation of insurance is essential, and it's great to see that's continued through the different challenges Sri Lanka's seen in the last few years.
Alan, everyone says that Sri Lanka really doesn't enjoy high insurance penetration, and our rates are one of the lowest in Asia. However, if you look at the country, the local industry has been operating for a considerable period of time. So what's missing in this puzzle?
I think there's a couple of different things. Partly it's awareness. I think partly it's a move to having insurance to a more savings basis as well on the life insurance side. Another one that's just a more recent issue is the lack of vehicle imports. And so motor insurance is a bit over half the local property and casualty industry. And there've been no new cars, as we all know, for about 3 or 4 years now. I think that will change, though, and we're seeing now the economy is actually starting to perk up. And I'm always happy to see, when I run around here in Colombo or I'm driving around, you can see, for example, construction is restarting, and we're writing construction insurance to ensure that. We're seeing tourism is increasing. That's meaning domestically, we're insuring hotels, but also we're insuring Sri Lankans who are going abroad for travel insurance. And so I think those things are starting to change. I think it's still difficult times. Incomes are not strong, so that remains an impact upon many industries. But I think the future is looking bright.
You spoke about lack of awareness. Can we elaborate on that, please?
Sure. It's a combination of, certainly not just in Sri Lanka, but in some other countries I've been in as well. You see, for example, people don't insure their house. And so people often more insure their car than they do their home. And in most cases, your home, if you're not renting, but even if you are, with your possessions, is your largest asset. And so I think just being aware of the devastating consequence of a loss in those circumstances will help people be more aware of what is important there.
Fitch Ratings has noted that the domestic insurance market in Sri Lanka lacks sophistication in terms of its products, and that our products are really simple in both life and non-life segments. Alan, what are your views on this?
I wouldn't entirely agree with that. And to me, the key thing is actually claims. Okay, I know product innovation is still very important, but people buy insurance to get, for claims, for that security. And as I said, we secure your future. in Allianz. And so for me, I think perhaps we can have some more sophistication in some of the processes and some of the ways we do things. But I'd actually take a different view from that. And it's not just the technology, it's about using that in a human way that's very key. Everyone talks about technology and internet and so forth, but the key bit is understanding the customer needs and then exploiting that understanding to make it really straightforward for people. I think we've done already a fair amount there, but there's a lot more opportunity as well. So I'm quite excited about that.
And in your opinion, what are the unmet needs of Sri Lankan consumers when it comes to life and general?
I think there's a couple. I mentioned the household insurance where people do not have, they don't cover their house. And if you lose your house, that's devastating, of course. I think travel insurance, there's, I'm sure, more opportunity there where for some countries it's mandatory, but for some it's often not. And so I think there's probably more penetration there. The other area is just savings on the life insurance side, where the life insurance industry offers a really great opportunity for longer term savings for people who want to secure their future.
And what about emerging customer segments like, for example, Gen Z?
I think there's some different needs in terms of, perhaps digitising products, maybe miniaturising those or developing smaller products that just suit individual circumstances. But there's also a fair amount in common as well. The thing is, I can see house insurance will be here a long time in the future. Vehicle insurance will be here for a while. I think how you present that, though, how you sell, how you go through the claims process, ease of sale, all those things I think are very key for Generation Z.
It's time to take a short break, but we'll soon return to talk more about trends in insurance.
Display your brand message on digital screens at prime locations. The largest digital advertising network in Sri Lanka. Emerging media.
You're mobile, and so are we.
Gets me going.
Grab the Lite 87 app at the Apple App Store or Google Play now.
87.8 and 87.6 island-wide. Lite 87.
Welcome back to the show. Tonight, we're talking to the CEO and Country Manager of Allianz Insurance Lanka, Alan Smee. Moving on to talking about trends, Alan, what are the most significant trends that you observe in the insurance market today when we look at both the global and the regional picture, and how should Sri Lanka make use of these trends?
I think one of the trends we see is the rise of health insurance. And so as you see motor insurance is becoming more mature, health insurance is becoming much more significant. And so that's very key. And so having products that are both affordable but apply the cover that people need is very critical. Probably another trend is much more the automation. So, you look in other countries and you see to buy a motor policy, it's much more digital. And so part of the work we're doing is to enable our agents and our partners to sell just with a mobile phone. And you don't need to use cash. You don't need to go to a office or anything. You just do it all online. And having said that, the human element remains because insurance often requires a partner or some explanation so that it's clear in terms of what has been presented. So it's about maintaining that human element, but automating and optimising and making just it as easy as possible. And same on the claim side, so that you get your claim paid quickly. So one example of the development is we're having the on-the-spot, we're paying claims on the spot as it is currently. And so that we've been developing further as well.
Alan, you spoke of the human angle, but apart from the macro challenges such as the crisis, of course, we have the prevailing brain drain, and then, of course, there's low demand for insurance by customers. So against all of this, what operational challenges do you observe that insurance companies in Sri Lanka have got to overcome?
I'm happy to do that. Emigration is a significant loss of talent, and I think that's affecting most companies. There's a lot of Sri Lankans in Australia, and they're settling in very well there. I guess what I'm finding is that I'm really impressed with the amount of talent here in Sri Lanka. So if I look across our management team, down to CEO -2 and below, there's lots of great people there. And so even though there is that constant challenge of keeping people. We're finding just the talent is very strong, and so it is a challenge. But yeah, that also means though we need to always look at retention for key staff. We need to look at the opportunities we're giving people. So it is a challenge, but it's one I think we can meet. And just given the talent that is available here, we're doing okay with that nonetheless.
So, in your opinion, will this pave the way for more automation?
Yes, I think it will, definitely. And you see that is happening. It's something that's part of our plans. And, we're steadily seeing how we can improve that. But the key is you've got to get the process right to start with. Automation in itself is not a magic wand. Rather, you've got to actually have the right process and then automate the key parts. The other thing is that it's always the human element you have to remain in there, in that, you don't just suddenly automate and everything just, you become way more efficient. Rather, you have to, keep that with, people want to talk to a real person when they have a claim. People need to have advice. You need to have thinking about how you develop your products. So it's automation in certain areas, and it's got to be applied in the right way.
Alan, my next question to you revolves around LMD's campaign, Refresh Sri Lanka, which we launched to encourage a mindset change and create a more civic-minded society in Sri Lanka. When we look at the insurance sector, how important do you think is civic-mindedness, and what role should insurance companies play to ensure that it's always in the agenda?
I think we have a strong ESG perspective and action there. We have done projects. Just within the last 6 months, we opened a water project at a school which enabled 1,000 school kids to have clean drinking water for the first time in about a decade. We've also, supporting other initiatives last year and this year for helmets for kids. We're going to be looking at road safety as well, looking forwards. Also, we're concerned about emissions and our responsibility there as well. So there's quite a few different areas. I think the other area is just simply, we want to make sure that we act rightly ourselves. So, for me, that's very important. And as a leader, it's critical that, we encourage the right action.
And Alan, how should civic-mindedness be promoted among the wider stakeholders of insurance, including, of course, the insured?
That's a good question. I think there's a few things. I mean, partly we do that via media discussions and different ways of promoting that. I think it's also, we're looking at how we can change our products in a way that encourages that. It's also in terms of all the different processes and practices that we do. So how do we contract? How do we, do different things? Fairness is very important. And so it's just having that in every part of what you do.
And we're almost at the end of our conversation today, but before we let you go, any closing thoughts you would like to share with our audience?
Sure. I think I'd just like to say, I think Allianz is a key part of Sri Lanka, and we've been here now. We're heading towards, I think it's our 20th anniversary, but in fact, Allianz was involved here in the past, in earlier times as well. And so Allianz is a strong supporter and a firm part of, of the industry here. And, we plan to continue to be so. And I think as well, we're looking forward to working with Sri Lanka as we see things improving and as the country develops, and having a key role in that. We're involved in infrastructure and other insurance areas, so we're keen to be part of that. And very happy to be here. I think Sri Lanka is a great place with good prospects, and I'm looking forward to continuing that as well.
We've been talking to the CEO and country manager of Allianz Insurance Lanka, Alan Smee. It was a pleasure and a delight having you with us, Alan.
Thank you very much. It's been a real wish you the best. Thanks.
And to all our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, take care.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching and stay safe.